Hello there, great person. You're probably wondering, why am I doing this on a Friday? And you are in for a treat, because I'm gonna do 3 chapters today and 3 chapters on Sunday, because my friends and I, we really can't wait to read on, and we will just read on. So 3 chapters today, 3 chapters on Sunday. Yeah, I will watch The Witcher today as well. I hope I will be able to cut it till tomorrow, because tomorrow I've got a very long workday in front of me. Yeah, it's Saturday, I know, but sometimes you have to work on Saturday in my profession, so whatever. Let's just get going. And if you like this, consider liking, subscribing, ring the bell, and you know the stuff. But anyway, today we will start with chapter 8, A Place of Safety. So let's see where that is. Ah, yeah, okay. First line. Great first line. So it's exactly as I said last time. Rand's eyes went to his father, and then there's a hyphen, I think you call it, and then his father, no matter what anyone said. It's like still denial a bit, but also I think, yeah, he's his father. That's what he is. He's always been. He will always be. Okay, Tom says something about his pipe, and I don't understand that. I think he's looking for a reason to get out of there, because Moraine's coming in and they don't like her because she's, so yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, so Tom's being set up as this strange dude because Len says I don't trust him and he wasn't here last night, so yeah. I mean, where was Hedden Fane last night, mate? Where was he? You didn't look out for him, did you? So yeah. And now Rand wants to stay with his father. So that's good, because now we will get to see what she actually does. I think that's good. So she really is focused on them. I wonder if there is a deeper meaning to that. Like, of course she's focused on him because she promised, and so she will look after him, and I'm not sure, but she has, the vow, and so she has to do it, because otherwise she would have lied, and she can't. So that might be why she's so focused, but perhaps there is another reason that I don't know yet. So it's interesting. Yeah, I see. So Moraine's just sitting there, not moving, and I just then thought, okay, but why don't wouldn't we see something? And then Red thinks the same. It's quite good. In the story, Aes Sedai wonders were always accompanied by flashes and thunderclaps. Yeah. The power. The one power. To rule them all. One power. I'm sorry. So Rand does not want to think about the Wheel of Time and the power that drives it, the power of... Actually, that is so interesting. I'm really unsure now again what the one power means. I mean, it's a story, of course this is just a story, but what does it mean in the story? So it drives the wheel. Might not do that because, unreliable narrator, but drives the wheel. Power that drives the wheel. And as I said once before, I kind of thought it was entropy. And for you who are not physicists, entropy is like, and this is a very basic explanation, it's just change. The ever occurring change in things is entropy. Why they change. At least you can, measure the direction. So you, with entropy, broadly speaking, you could measure where, or describe better. It's better to say describe. So you could describe where things will move to and predict that a bit, even though not that much, because chaos is also involved. You know what? Interesting, chaos is also involved. I know these names, entropy and chaos, they are not meaning the same as in colloquial terms, but it's like chaos comes with time, with the passage of time. So might be applicable here too, because I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I think that Robert Jordan was a physicist. I will look it up. Wait a moment. I'm sorry. I will look it up, because this is very interesting. Yes, he studied physics. That is interesting, yeah. That is very interesting. I don't know. It's like, yeah. But he found these themes from stories, you know, this moving forward and the chaos that might be there when you move forward. And he might have found that in physics. And I'm going to go on a little tangent here, so I'm sorry if this doesn't interest you, but there is there is a physicist, Wolfgang Pauli. You might have heard of him, perhaps not. Um, he was a quantum physicist in the I think he was probably most famous until the 1920s and 1930s. He was a colleague of Heisenberg and Niels Bohr and Einstein and, you know, all these people, and he was one of them. And he had a correspondence with Carl Jung, uh, or in German, Carl Jung. We would say Carl Jung, but I know in I don't know how you pronounce it in English, but you know I will use the German pronunciation because I'm German. So Carl Jung, and he was this psychologist, and they talked about dreams. And Carl Jung was very interested in dreams, and Wolfgang Pauli is someone that wrote his dreams to Carl Jung, so that Carl Jung could help him discover what the dreams meant for him, you know, stuff like that. And I actually have to read. I've got some books of Carl Jung here, at least one, and I want. One of my dreams is owning his whole work of writing. I might buy that Sunday. Anyway, so and in these dreams, Carl Jung got the dreams from Pauli, and Pauli actually dreamt of something like this. That's why I'm telling you this. So it has a purpose why I tell you this story. Carl Jung actually, Wolfgang Pauli actually, he dreamt in physics. So he dreamt in mathematics and physics, and in that he dreamt about chaos and ordering things. You know, about things aligning, things moving into a certain pattern and direction. And I don't know why, but this power here that drives the wheel and that weaves the pattern, that reminds me of that dream. And you can look it up. It's a letter. You can find the letter online, I think. And a former colleague of mine collected letters of famous physicists, and he was a professor at my university. He actually went to a lecture of Heisenberg once when he was very young, so long time ago. And he collected them, and he has them. And he shows them quite proudly sometimes. At least he did. He's now gone from the university. You know, it's like he's retired. But and those letters, they remind me so much of this one power thing. The one power that, yeah, I don't know. I hope I didn't waste your time with this, but this is so fascinating to me because it shows you that these concepts that are mythical are also show up in science a bit, you know, even though their meaning might have changed a bit, but yeah. Ooh, Len knows the sword that Brent is carrying. A heron. Is that what it's called? I always thought it was called a crane, but yeah. Yeah, and Len is being Len. So Ren says the sword was he bought it long time ago, and Len just says, "Strange thing for a sheep herder to buy." Yeah, and this again it hints at a change in Tam, because Len said, yeah, he thought it was useless. He did not always think that. So I mean that's logical. He bought it. You don't just buy a sword, and there is one use you could always have for like hanging it at the wall and looking at it. I don't know. So yeah. And there are places where the heron is a symbol of the master swordsman. I don't know if he means, okay, it's not capitalized, so it's probably a master swordsman, more like that. So Tem might be a master swordsman. That's great to know. Oh god, I love Tem. Ooh, he tells Len about the rider. Let's see if Len now understands that he's the dragon, perhaps candidate, whatever. Oh wow. So Moraine jumps in now and she says, couldn't have done anything, not without half a dozen of my sisters. So Shade is wow. That means Shade is quite powerful. Yeah. That might have been depicted a bit weak in the show, though they still ran away from it, but it had the army. So the shape is already more dangerous here in the book. Okay, there is a lot of information Moraine is given here. First, she says, would she have known? She would have dragged 12 of her sisters. You know, it's like a bit exaggerated, but she would have just dragged some Aes Sedai there to end them, which means that it was really important to end these Trollocs. It might have been important because, in general, Trollocs are a bad sign, so you have to eliminate them. Or it was because she already knows there's something there, like a dragon, you know. Also, there were about 100 Trollocs there, so not just the 20 we saw last time. So it was more than 20. And they are called a fist. So, like, a battalion is called a fist, which is quite aggressive, and I really think it fits the Trollocs. Oh yeah, and now Lan is alerted and asks, yeah, where did you see that thing? Okay, this is very dense, so I will... First, Moraine says something very kind. I will not have the boy thinking he is to blame for something when he is not. So that is like, she says, yeah, don't go down this road like, yeah, what if I could have done, what if I would have done, and would it have changed? And you know, these thoughts you sometimes have when you start to blame yourself for no reason because something happened and you just can't cope with it. And she's just shutting it down because she knows it's useless here. And that's very kind, I think. And she says she should have known the Raven. And that means it was a real creepy, strange raven. I mean, we knew it was a creepy, strange raven already, but it might have really, really been like a shapeshifter, whatever thing. And this is very Lord of the Rings. Like, I thought that the touch of the Dark One could not have spread this far. You know, like a bit like Sauron. Okay, so like ravens and rats are potential spies of the Dark One. That's sick. So they are not really like sentients or so, but they are probably controlled or by a Myrddraal or whatever. Or by, you know? Yeah, now it's crashing down on him that, yeah, it's not just, yeah, you have to live a good life and not speak of evil, then evil will not get you. No, that's not true. And now he realizes that, which is true as well in reality. Even if you're a good person and you try your best and everything you do is like for the best and you don't even think bad thoughts and about evil, still yeah, can still get you. Still gets you, you know? That's so harsh, but yeah, he's like again, he's growing up here. Okay, another piece of info about Sherlock's. Their weapons are forged in a valley called Takandar, and or Thekendar. I mean, in German it would be Takandar, so I will just call it that. On the very slopes of Shayol Ghul itself. I think Shayol Ghul, we've heard that. Is that the strange, creepy city with the black goo, or is it something else? I don't know. Oh, and now we've got a Nazgul blade here, like a taint of evil is in the blade. Now it consumes him. Could be a metaphor for, yeah, if someone stabs you, you're gonna get a bit evil as well because of that trauma, but you know, whatever. I'm not gonna go down that road now. Okay. Now they introduce this Angreal, which is I think it's the statue that in the show Moraine gave to Rand in the last episode to help seal the Dark One, which obviously didn't happen, but you know. And it was made in the Second Age, so in this, where these remains are from. And interesting. So they can't make it anymore. Why? Yeah, because magic is run down now as well, perhaps. Yeah, and now they are like, yeah, help him. Oh man. Yeah, you saw Fate, you saw a Myrddraal that ran. No, they are 20 feet high and their eyes are glowing and then Lana's just laughing at him because, oh god, that's funny. Okay, so there are many names for shades. So Halfman, Lurk, Fate, Shadowman. Okay. Okay, and Fates are Trolloc spawn. Throwbacks almost to the human stock that Dreadlords used to make the Trollocs. So the Dreadlords made the Trollocs somehow, and they also created the Shades somehow. And if I understand this correctly, so they bred Trollocs like with human and beasts, and if they made the human part too strong, they created the Myrddraal. And this I don't understand. Only the weakest Aes Sedai would fail to be a match for a Fate. 1 against 1. But many good men and true has fallen to them. Yeah, but why did Moraine then say I needed 12 as a die or 6? Since the Forsaken were bound, so the Forsaken are like the guys of the Dark One. They were bound as well, apparently, and so they might have been. So the Forsaken might be the Dreadlords, or I don't know. They might not. So they might be employed by the Forsaken, the Dreadlords. But apparently their highest layer of command is gone. So now the Murdral are the brain. I get that. That's logical. Yeah, okay, so it's like Trolloc, Myrdral, Dreadlord, and then possibly Forsaken, or they are the same, I don't know. And then above that, the Dark One. And perhaps more layers, but yeah. Wow, there's just so much great lore. Yeah, okay, so Lan is afraid of them as well, which is, yeah, okay, wow. They could have done that in the show. That would have been powerful. Okay, so they don't have eyes, which is logical because in the show they did not, so that makes sense. That makes sense. So they are really these stupid creatures from the show. I mean, they're not stupid, they're pretty cool, but. So, and those two, Moraine and Lan, tried to end it, but it had luck, so it was not ended. So it was not that it was stronger than those two. So probably the Trollocs were the reason why Moraine said she needed 6 sisters. Yeah, now the employee of the month is mentioned again. Very good. Okay, now it's done. And yeah, Len is impressed with Rand slaying the Trolloc. But Tam slayed 4, which is quite an achievement, apparently, then. Very good. Oh, and Moraine has finished healing him. Very good. So the stain is now gone, apparently. Or she's not telling him. Because she just says he will be alright now. She didn't say the taint is gone, so that might be her little word thing, but. Okay, the taint is gone. Now she says it. And she talks about the Age of Legends, apparently. And yeah, so they are like this. Like, it's not literally ruins only that is left over from the Age of Legends, but also figuratively. I mean, we kind of knew that already in the show, but here not as much. So, like, the world is metaphorically and literally the ruins of the Second Age. Very, very beautifully written. And Moraine's just like after Rand says, "Yeah, I will do whatever you want." She says, "Yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk to you. So if you leave with us, so when you leave with us, now we have plenty of time." So it's like she's already like, "Yeah, of course you will now leave with us." It's so funny, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, okay. So and now Rand is like in his mindset of a Two Rivers folk that yeah, we just rebuild it. He's in that mind and in that mode now, and yeah, let's see where it goes. How he is what Moreno says. Now Lan is just saying, sheepherder, you talk when you should be listening. I understand how you feel, Rand. And as she can't lie, she does. Why? What happened to her? Okay, so the Trollocs selectively attacked because they were probably looking for Rand. Okay, so Beltane after the Shades plan up. That's funny. Because everyone was not at their home and they went to their homes and yeah. Yeah, his age. Young man of his age, so no women. So the dragon is apparently not a woman here, possibly, so yeah. And the miller and his family slept throughout the attack. It's so, oh, that is so mean. Why am I laughing? Yeah, okay, it was those 3. Only those 3. And the Shade probably just stalked the others too, with his magic eyes that are non-existent because it has none, but which with its magic sight, it saw their age perhaps, and then yeah. Okay, then now in one of you or all 3, there is something the Dark One fears. Okay. Yeah. So it had to have been hard to smuggle them past, yeah. And they might have used these way gates because no one knew where they went. Yeah, now another vision, like it's like the vision or the image he produced when he wanted to go to Eamon's Field, and it gave him the strength to go there. Now he has exactly the opposite vision of everything burned down in Eamon's Field, and that will make him probably go away now. So I really like the way that Robert Jordan uses visions or images you create in your head to to move towards summer or away from something. I really do like that aspect he puts in. It's very, very realistic. Yeah, so he wants to go to Camelin and thinks, oh well, I was kind of wanted to go there, but also not. So yeah, and now Len just says, yeah, well, a wall is nothing against a murderer. Yeah. Oh yeah, here it is. The shining walls are Tavalon. Someone told me in the comments, thank you, but yeah, here it is again. And the Dark One is the father of lies. So a lie is also this corrupt thing. You know, it's like the opposite of truth that the Aes Sedai speak. Lies. Nice detail. Yeah, and Tem will not wake again before they depart. Yeah, that's sad. And here again, so Moraine is like this petite young woman, young, you know, but she has an iron grip. So it's like this power inside her that you can't see, but that is there. I really do like Moraine's description and depiction in this book. And now he is apart from the village. He's apart from home, from the thing he knows, from the thing that he thought was the world. Now everything changes and he grows up a bit and he goes out and yeah, it's interesting. So Moraine talked to the innkeeper's wife. Long talk, so she probably explained everything to her as well. To tell the truth, the Trollocs were as confused as we were when they saw the water and the Aes Sedai. That's so funny as well. It's like, yeah, we're going in there and oh no, oh, we did wrong. Oh no, oh, this is not what we expect. All those Nogs. Yeah, and now they're sleeping at the inn. I mean, yeah, that's nice. And this again shows the bond between Tem and Rand. Rand thinks I can tell my father everything. That's something to say. That's something really, really powerful to say. And that was chapter 8. And I really liked it. It was a lot of lore. I got a lot more information. It was basically just Moraine healing Tam. But during that, you know, the conversation gave me lots of information about the Dark One, the Trollocs, and the Aes Sedai. So I really like that. So let's get over to chapter 9. Okay, is he dreaming now? He's running through some barren wasteland. I think he's probably dreaming. Okay, so he's dreaming about this black mountain that is quite big. So what does that symbolize? The Dark One? And he's called by the Black Mountain. Okay, so the Dark One, I assume it's the Dark One, he's whispering to him to serve him, and he says, the light consume you, Titan, which is probably the Dark One that he's, yeah, offending here. So let's see what the Dark One does in the dream now. Yeah, okay, so the Dark One, at least the avatar he sees here, I assume it's the Dark One's avatar, has like cloak of drenched of blood, whatever, and can't see the face. It's creepy. Actually, and now he's thrown himself, so Rand, he's thrown himself off the Dream Mountain, and now he's probably waking up. I think in the show, the Dark One's avatar, they always showed this glowing alien thing. That was stupid. They could have done like here, like this cloak, and you don't see the inside, you know. It's been so spooky. So spooky and eerie. By the way, it describes the mountain in the distance as broken and split, which means perhaps the breaking split it. That's a nice detail. Oh, it's Dragonmount. I think it's Dragonmount. He's still dreaming. He might still be dreaming. Yeah, because there's the river and there's the island, there's the city on the river, so it's probably Tavalon. Yeah, and he now Dark One's behind him again. He's running. Doesn't want to remember the face. So I mean, he's the Dragon Reborn. We know that. So it's like he's seen him before, probably. And the city is like, you know, moving into the distance because it's still a dream. Okay. And now he's standing next to the entrance of Tavalon. Also, I like the symbolism a lot, like this the city of progress of society of humans, and he's in the waste, in the wilderness, in chaos, and he wants to go towards safety. I really like the principle of that. What descriptions of the city. Within was a wonderland where the meanest structure seemed a palace. It was as though the builders had been told to take some stone and brick and tile and create beauty to take the breath of mortal man. and now music is coming in, so it's like this utopian place. Harmony, music, because music is harmony, you know, many things aligning. It's like order, perfection, society. I really love this dream. And now he's always seeing the white tower. It's like, yeah, it's a dream, mate. And everyone wants him to go to the tower. And yeah, so the voice says it's your destiny. Interesting. I think I would have liked this scene as an opener to episode 2, perhaps. Because this is so. It would have probably been too expensive, unfortunately, but that sounds so good. That would have been so like, what the frick is going on? Because I wouldn't have known it was a dream then. I mean, I know it now because I know that the way it works a bit. Obviously, not very much, you know, but I know that dreams are important. And this dream is so much more powerful alone than all the stupid CGI alien dreams. You know, you could have had this little creepy scene in the beginning, and then the tower. You know, this. Ah, you could have done it so whatever. Yeah, now he's awake. Okay, but the murderer, I didn't. I skipped this. He goes into the tower, and now the murderer is there. Why? What? Was it like? Yeah, so it was like a honey trap, perhaps. Interesting. Ah, Tom's awake. Very good. Now that's a tale to make a gleeman proud, Tam said after Ren told him everything. That's cool. Yeah, now it's introduced that acid, I don't lie. Okay. I mean, yeah. Oh, and he wants to join him. Tam wants to join Ren. That's such a great move from him. And Tam is just like, yeah, just go to Tavalon. That's good. And Ren was like, oh, but I had hoped you would talk me out of that. But now, okay. Okay, and now it's described that warders get benefits from the bond, and we don't know yet what the Aes get for it. But we have seen it. Ah, yeah, so Tam says, okay, if you have to go tonight, I will follow you. What a dad, man. Such a great guy. And I understand it. I mean, Rand is the only thing he's probably left in the world and his most dearest treasure, so yeah, he's such a good dad. Wow. Okay, there may be trouble. Let's see what that is. And now he says, I have to go, and they make some jokes, and yeah, that's pretty sad. Yeah, and Rand isn't asking the question. So, yeah, I mean, it's a hard question to ask. I can't blame him. And now Len comes in and says, "Don't you, we have to go. Don't you know what trouble means?" He's so sassy. I love Len. And now Matt's there and he says, this is like the stories, right? Okay, so they're at the peddler's wagon and Moraine is there and some men are there. And okay, they want her to leave now. Fine, why? She defended you, you idiots, but whatever. They probably have their reasons. Even if they might be silly. Okay, because they think she brought the monsters, whatever. It's just so good. You know, we will burn you out. And then everyone except Zen and those other two idiots is like, what are you doing, man? We don't do that here. They just go back. That would have been so funny in the show. Oh man, Zen is such an idiot. Oh, and the Coplans, of course. And now Brennan's coming and they're afraid of Bren. That's interesting. So the blacksmith and the mayor alone can rein in all the idiots. Very good to know. And easily as well. So the blacksmith is just like, yeah. You go back and in line, you idiot. Yeah, and now he says, yeah, she healed all of you, you dullards. What are you doing? Yeah, they just don't want trouble and they're being Richards about it, so yeah. Okay, okay. Now she's like whirling her stuff around and yeah, see I can do magic. I think she's talking about the past now. Oh, the river is called Manetheren Drell. So that's why Manetheren. Interesting. Yeah, I see. Oh wow, what a description. And it's more powerful here, I think, for me than it would have been because I know what ogres are. It says 2,000 years ago, Manetheren there flowed by the walls of a mountain city so lovely to behold that ogre stonemasons came to stare in wonder. So the people that built Tavalon, which we just saw in this chapter, which was so beautiful, and they came to look at the city. Great writing. Okay, and now we get Manetheren, I think, in more detail. I really like that. So, king was Aemon and the queen was Eldrine. Yeah, and now they have very lovely descriptions for the king and queen because the king is like this world, like the oh god, how do you say it? The personification of courage, and Eldrine is the personification of beauty. So like the perfect people in a way, you know. And this is quite powerful. It was also powerful in the show, very good, very well delivered, but I think this is more powerful. Just the words. Weep if you have a heart for the loss of them, for the loss of even their memory. Weep for the loss of their blood. And now she's probably gonna go and tell us what the blood means, the loss of the blood. And this is also interesting. So it says Ren was bound as the others in the spell she had created. So it's implied that she's cast a spell to make it more powerful, but I'm gonna guess that I will be thinking this is very powerful anyway. So it's like, yeah, it might have been that she enhances what she says with the spell, you know, that the words are more meaningful to the people, but if you read them and you find them meaningful, it doesn't matter if she casts it. You know what I mean? So let's see Manetheren. Oh, this is more backstory as well. So the Manetheren were always on the front fighting against the Dark One and the Trollocs. So they were like the first wall against evil every time. Through the courage of the king, obviously. So, and the kings before, because it was two centuries, yeah. Wow. Yeah, wars, 2 centuries of wars. You know, the farther back you go in history, the longer wars became. Like the 30-year war in Europe, and Romans fought long wars. So yeah, that's quite logical. Oh, and this is a lot better of a setup. So the Manetheren men were on the you know the warriors were at the front, and then they heard that the Trollocs were marching against their home, and it was so far away they couldn't possibly get there. But let's see what happened. Wow, this line. Without hesitation, without thought for the distance they must travel, they marched from the field of their victory, still covered in dust and sweat and blood. You know, it's like, yeah, they won, but they don't care. They're tired. Probably anyone would be tired. Like Rand was tired when he, in the night, he dragged Tem to safety. Yeah. They moved as if their feet had wings, marching further and faster than friends hoped or enemies feared they could. So it's really this. So Moraine is telling this, so she is telling the truth, but doesn't mean it's what she knows or what is true. You know what I mean? But that's quite description. Wow, here, when the Dark One's army swooped down upon the lands of Manetheren, the men of the mountain home stood before it with their backs to the Terrendel. Yeah, I mean, they marched there. That's badass. I don't really know where let me see if it's on the map. So I know where the two rivers are. It's here. Where did they fight though? Field of Becker. I don't see it. Please, someone, if you know, or I will just ask my friends, the friend that knows more about this than I do, where Becker is. I assume it's near Kandor Arafiel here in the north, near the mountains of Doom. I will put it probably in the collective thought section. Some villager raised a small tear. Yeah. Yeah, and again the ravens. Ravens black in the sky. Yeah, he's got ravens and vermin. At night, their cook fires outnumber the stars. That's such a great description as well. Imagine that, you know, darkness before you, this vast alley, and there are 1,000 little lights. Beautiful, but horrifying because you know what they mean. But so Baal Zamon Heart of the Dark. What does that mean? Is that a commander, a dreadlord? Is that a Forsaken? But they are bound, I think so. Oh no, it's the Dark One. It's the banner of the Dark One. Father of Lies. Ah yes, Shayol Ghul was, of course, the Eye of the World. It wasn't the city of the black stuff. Of course not. Shayol Ghul is the Eye of the World. I remember now. Okay, so the banner was light destroying, like light absorbing. That's a badass banner. Hold for 3 days against odds that should overwhelm them in the first hour. Yeah, very powerful. I know that the idiots from the one city didn't come, so. And on the 10th day, Aemon knew the bitter taste of betrayal. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, what dicks. I'm sorry for language. I mean, they were, and this was not in the show, so that would have made it even more badass. So they were in every battle on the front line and helped everyone, and no one helped them. Wow, that is so much worse than in the show. Okay, so then they crossed the river, destroyed the bridges. Yeah, okay, so he said, yeah, let's hold them off, but the Trollocs started crossing probably with boats or whatever. Yeah, they organized retreat, but some didn't flee. So yeah, we know about them, I think. Wow, this is very powerful. So yeah, man, this is I don't know why it's almost the same words as in the show in this part, but this is so much more moving. I don't know. Because God, imagine that everyone just goes there, like the farmers and the women, and I don't know, the children probably went to safety, perhaps. But what is a child? Probably someone below 10 in this age. I don't know. Oh wow, they were driven back to Eamon's Field. Wow. The sword that could not be broken was shattered. Oh yeah, this as well. He was probably her warder, wasn't he? Eamon was probably Eldrin's warder because someone told me she was an Aes Sedai. So she felt it, and the way this is written, it implies that they had the bond, at the bond, because she felt it. This is so much more powerful. The way it's described what Eldrin did. In the show it was just, yeah, they burned all of them. Full stop. Okay, bye. And here it is like that they just run away. The dreadlords, they just, like, it was this flame wall. It just covered the army, and they all burned. And the ones that didn't burn, they drowned in the river because they fled. And the final vengeance came more slowly, but it came when they were hunted down by other peoples, by other armies in other lands. Yeah, you freaking dicks. Seriously. Yeah, oh god, no. Oh, there are only 3 Trollocs in our country now instead of 1,000 billion. What a piece of luck. Couldn't have thought so. What a happy coincidence. Now we will fight them. Stupid assholes. I'm sorry, but what fucking assholes. I'm sorry, but probably have to cut that out, whatever. Oh yeah, and the fires that consumed her burned Manetheren down. Yeah. So she was probably left alone in the city. It's more like, I imagine it like this. So she was there in the city, like, let's do it like this. So here's the army battling. Here are the reinforcements coming. Here is the city of Manetheren with Eldrin in it, and here are the people fleeing. So she's like this last bastion, her alone. That's what I imagine currently. And she's just wiping everything out. So she has this stone melting ability, fire crashing into everything, and it burned the city, it burned her. It's like she was a living bomb. And now they were bound to the soil by ties stronger than steel, yeah. Oh, this is so sad as well. Other wars would wreck them in years to come, until at last their corner of the world was forgotten, and at last they had forgotten wars and the ways of war. Oh, this is... Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, what does it take to forget war? I never thought of that, actually. It was in the chapters before. I didn't really realize the meaning. Yeah. Ooh. So yeah, it's like, I mean, we've seen before that they don't kill, and they don't, they have their little brawls perhaps in the tavern, whatever, but they don't kill, they don't know war, they despise wars. And I thought it was because everyone does, but yeah, this means so much more. It's like their blood is against war because of what they paid for peace and freedom, and to keep their land, to keep what is theirs and their identity and whatever. Yeah, and also this they held. This is a lot better. I mean, it was in the show, and it's like, yeah, the Trollocs came and they held, and for 1 day they held, and for 3 days and 9 they held. I think it was something like that. And now here it ends with, but the children were still there, and they held it until today. Oh God, yeah, that's quite powerful. That is really something. Oh God, I'm crying. Okay, whatever. Let's move on to this thing. And oh God, quite powerful writing here. Great, great job, guy. You did well. We're only in chapter 9 and I cried. So let's see when I cry the next time. I mean, I cried not that hard, but this was incredibly moving. I'm not that expressive, I think, but I hope you forgive me for that. I mean, this is a reaction. You probably want to see me cry, but um, more expressively, I don't do that. So yeah, now they say, yeah, I don't remember that. I'm no thorn in the Dark One's foot. I don't really care. I don't care about your story, but I changed my mind because of the story. It's so good. Yeah, their pride. Oh, now they are leaving without him saying goodbye to Tem, but they probably knew. Okay, now we'll take a small break after this chapter. Ooh, I mean, it's basically in line with the so let's just talk about it for a short while. So it's like the same I felt in this show, but much stronger, because it had more meaning, because I had read more about them, I had more time to connect with them, and the way it was done was a lot better as well, because you had these little hints that they were so like conservative and secluded, but they were a society holding, they were together for some reason. They were comparably peaceful. They didn't kill each other, and now you know why, and it's in their blood, and it's still in their, deep within their souls, because they act on the story. So after the story, they play it off as, yeah, it's just a story, but they knew, like, it I get the impression they knew it was real, they knew it was in them, and they just, they put forward some other reasons why they now leave and why Moraine can stay, because the reason they officially let her stay are now exactly the same reasons that Bran told them. It's exactly the same. Nothing has changed in the reason. So suddenly they adapt the reasons they before said, no, that's I don't care about that. That's so good. So subtly written. Now we go to chapter 10, leave taking, and I will get a sip of water first. Okay. Hair and long life go together, blacksmith. Yeah, land spouting facts. You becoming a warder, mate? Matt asked Rand when he saw the sword with the, what is it called, hedron? The crane. I don't know the word. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so Lannis like this, like aware of everything, heightened senses, because they're something might follow them, and yeah, they talk about the sword, and Rand just says, yeah, it might be useful. Which is probably an understatement, but also the truth. Might be useful, will be useful, probably. Okay, and Perrin is carrying a big axe. So badass. Why didn't he carry that in the show? Yeah, because he was peaceful, because his wife died. I mean, it was a nice storyline there, but it never went anywhere. So this Perrin is a little bit more like still more innocent. Oh yeah, it was the eggs that Perrin is carrying was crafted for a guard of the wool trader, and they didn't pay, so tough luck for you. So he was gifted that, which see that shows how much Perrin means to the blacksmith, because if the wool buyer's guard wouldn't pay a price, it must have been quite high, and the axe is described as quite a piece of craftsmanship there. So that means he gifted it to Perrin. Wow, that's powerful as well. Yeah, yeah. So Perrin just took it and practiced with it, and then he gifted it. Oh, that's so sweet. Ah, yeah. Here we have it. It's the thing this line they gave Perrin's wife in the backstory. It's anything can be a weapon if the man or woman who holds it has the nerve and will to make it so. So weapon is not something defined. It's like what you use to attack or defend yourself. That's a weapon. It's not like a sword. Sword's not a weapon. It's when you use the sword for defense or attack, it's a weapon. It could also be a bread cutter, a very expensive and big one. So. Yeah, and Lannis just like his face and voice cold as death and hard as the rough hewn gravestone. Like he's like so dead serious. He's like, you guys, I know you've used things you could call weapons before, so you better use them as weapons, and you learn how to do that, because otherwise you would be effed. Yeah. And again, it's talk about stories. And Matt says it's not like the stories, and Perrin says, yeah, I mean, there are Trollocs, there's a Water, there's an Aes Sedai. What else do you want? And he obviously wants a cozy, heroic journey and not harsh reality. It's, yeah. Yeah, and Matt's mother seems to be quite a strict woman, which explains why he's such a mischievous child. Sometimes that happens, if the mother is so strict, the child goes like, tests all bounds and wants freedom more in outside the house, you know what I mean? And his mother thinks a Tavalon is like Shaiol Ghul, which is quite harsh because they are like sometimes treated as opposites, and now here is the same, which is, yeah, it shows again how warped their perception of stories in the world is. Okay, so now suddenly Moraine appears and she overheard Rand saying that he told Tam, so she asked him, did you? I couldn't go off without letting him know. Yeah, true. What is done is already woven in the pattern. Yeah, you can change it. Oh, a Gwen! Suddenly a Gwen pops up. Not without me! What? Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, why not? Len almost kills her by... Yeah, and now it's, this is coming together so well. So Gwen is not coming because she's supposedly the dragon, because she wants to see the world. Isn't that a better motive? I think it's more fitting to be, because the three of them, they are all there because they have to, so to speak. They have to go because otherwise the village is gone. But Gwen goes because she wants to, on her own free will, and it was teased that she just wants to go out. It doesn't matter whether it's for Nynaeve's job that she, wants to organize for her in the other village. It's just that he wants to go out, and she wants to go out, and I think that's very powerful. I really like that. That's a motivation Egwene has here that she did not have in the show, and I really like this more. And the contrast is as well, Egwene has seen the Trolloc attack as well and everything. She's helped. She's seen the dread and destruction that it brought, the outside coming in, so to speak, and she still wants to go. And all the others said, yeah, why can't, they all had these thoughts like, but couldn't I just stay in the village? And Tam said to Ren, no, you have to go out. And, he wanted to stay in a way, but Egwene she just takes that chance to explore, even though she knows the danger now. So everyone knows the danger, but Gwen still decides to go on her own, and she wants it very strongly. I really love that. Okay, now this is very, very, very strange. What? So she says like to Rand, okay, so you're going now without me. What's your problem? And Rand says, the Trollocs are coming. they are after us. And now Gwen says, the Trollocs, Rand, if you've decided to see some of the world, well and good, but please spare me with your nonsensical tales. Why does she say that? Did she not see them? Did I miss something? I might have missed that she slept through it as well. I mean, she helped the wounded. Okay, and Moraine just says, okay, come with us, I don't care. It's good. Also, yeah, I don't know. The villagers don't seem to notice that they go because they are again rebuilding, because that's their blood. Good as well, good detail. And now Lan's pissed. No, Moraine. It is part of the pattern now. And now she suddenly says it's part of the pattern that she comes. Why? What does she know? Does she feel her powers? Because Moraine instantly says, okay, you can go because you're now part of the pattern. Why? How? Because she's involved with boys? Curious to find that out. And now Len is just like, okay, because, you know, she knows more probably than him. Okay, and now Moraine gives some bullshit reason why she should come, because, yeah, she would rise the village. No, she wouldn't. But, yeah. See, Gwen just says it, I wouldn't. Oh, Tom's here now, okay. Oh, and Tom is coming. I mean, yeah, I mean, that makes sense, but yeah, he says, I want to go to Tavalon to perform there. Yeah, of course. And now Lan's even more pissed. Is this part of the pattern to Moraine? And she says just like, everything is. Cookies need love like everything does. This is peculiar. Moraine nodded and then scabbarded his sword. Rand suddenly wondered what would have happened if Thom had changed his mind or if Moraine had not nodded. Does it imply that Lan would have just cut him down? Or what does it imply? And now Rand suggests Bela. And Lan is pissed at him now as well. Poor Lan, it's not his day. Now he has to travel with many people that'll probably annoy him. I really like that this funny interaction. I mean, it's serious, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it's little comedic, and Lan is like this, you know, how Lan is a bit like Squidward here. Again, I don't know why I compare people to Squidward, but it's like, you know, this is very funny, and it's well done, and it makes sense, and I really love that it's a bit more, it's not so doom and gloom as Manetheren was. I really needed this. I'm glad I did three chapters today. Oh, wow. This is so good. Oh my god. I wish they would have done it like this in the show. No, oh god. Even though it was good in the show, don't get me wrong. I mean, I liked it in the show, but this I like better. The way they talk to each other, Gwen and Rand, they have their first private moment in the book. And it's very beautiful and very, very lovely. It's like, I read it because I'm just gonna read it. I still think you shouldn't come, he said. I wasn't making it up about the Trollocs, but I promise I will take care of you. Very, very, not in your face, but very lovely to say, because he means it. And she says, perhaps I'll take care of you. She replied lightly. At his exasperated look, she smiled and bent down to smooth his hair. I know you'll look after me, Rand. We will look after each other. But now you had better look for getting on your horse. This really shows what they are, that they are together. You know, it's not this obvious thing, which is okay for the show, even though I think it's a bit too Game of Thrones-y, but, yeah. By the way, I really hope they stop doing this in shows. Because there are currently some fantasy shows coming out after Game of Thrones, and everyone, you know, they want to replicate the Game of Thrones gore and love, you know? And I don't think it fits in every fantasy world. Like, God. Like with Lord of the Rings, I don't know if that would fit. The gore, yes, perhaps, but the love thing, it was never in Lord of the Rings. This, you know what I mean? It would be so weird to see it in Lord of the Rings. I hope they don't do that. But let's not talk about, please don't talk about Lord of the Rings in the comments. I know there is controversy. I want to keep a clean mind and a clear mind about that, and I'm keeping away from everything there, so I can just enjoy the show when it comes out, and I will judge it on myself. So, you know, it would be lovely if you respected that. And after that, I might do videos on it. Yeah, and Lan's horse, or this cloud horse here, it wants to go out into the world. Lovely detail. And then that is also like there's an owl hooting, and everyone is just going bonkers because they're afraid because they all are traumatized. Oh, interesting. So wolves would be a sign that there are no Trollocs because Trollocs don't like wolves. Why not? I wonder if Perrin's ability is anti-Trolloc somehow because his ability will be something with wolves. So yeah, and now they see this hunting party that are probably hunting for Trollocs. And I also love that they have to sneak out. It's not like this heroic exit. That's, yeah, but I liked it in the show, although it was a bit strange that the Trolloc army was in the distance and you could see it. Yeah, and there are a lot of patrols now because they just want to make sure no Trollocs are left. Is that, so he sees this flying creature, is that a Trolloc that is like half beastman? Half bird, or is it something else? Drakka. What is that? Okay, it seems to be a special creature that the murderer also controls. I love this point. So they ask, what is a Drakka now? Because Tom Day just tells the legends. Great, very good. Oh god, and he says only this. In the war that ended the Age of Legends, worse than Trollocs and Halfmen were created. Yeah, great, mate. Yeah, it's okay. Nothing to see here. Yeah. Okay, so that was chapter 10. I really did like that chapter as well. I liked the character building between Moraine, Gwen and Rand. I really liked these 3 chapters. They were very, very nicely done. I didn't expect the Manetheren story to be that moving, so I got really emotionally involved there. I don't know. Characters are great. I like the way they just took their time and they are now sneaking out. And it's just a great start for their journey because 3 of the people don't want to go on the journey and Egwene does want to go on the journey. Probably Nynaeve is already after them. I don't know. In the show, she was after them and snuck after Lan. Yeah, I really did like that. So I will, in a moment, discuss this with my friends as well. So I will give you the additional thoughts later. So let's give it over to my future self, and I hope you will enjoy those as well. See you soon. Okay, here I am back again, and I had some time to talk this over with my friends, which was beautifully to do. Again, as always, it was such a great time. I wrote down several points this time, and there was one thing we discussed very controversially, let's say. But yeah, let's start at the beginning. Oh yeah, and I might not do the collaborative thing after the Sunday episode because we don't know yet whether we will be able to have that talk. So I might put it in the next episode then, so next week. But yeah, so first thing, a little minor detail. When Tome apparently has a problem with the Aes Sedai, it was not as pronounced. You know, we know from the show at least, and it seems to be the case here as well, that he doesn't like Aes Sedai. And when he goes out of the tavern because Moraine comes in, he's like not very angry. And everyone else is quite angry because Aes Sedai are bad, you know, Aes Sedai bad. Quite profound thinking of them. But yeah, so it's different, even though he probably knows more about them. So the people in the village really believe so much in their stories that they even hate Aes Sedai more than the person who probably hates them for real. So, you know, it was an interesting observation. Then Lan, the way he talks to people, which was quite an interesting point brought up by one of my friends. It's just like the way he addresses people. He addresses people by their profession, like he calls Rand a sheep herder, I think, and he calls Nynaeve wisdom, and he calls Perrin blacksmith. You know, it's like he calls them by their profession, which is interesting because that's probably and it's not like derogatory. Also, he once says very softly to Rand, "Yeah, shepherd or sheepherder, you know, this and this and this, you know." So it's not derogatory, but it's rather his point of view in a way of the world. Like he sees people and perhaps even their value, at least he did perhaps, as like what they do in their job, and he sees that as a as a very important thing about people apparently. And I'm looking forward to find more about that. Um, then in the dream, when Rand chooses to not directly go to the White Tower, he chooses to go to an alley to explore more. It really came off as him like having agency. And because, you know, it was like this dream seemed a bit constructed, like he was running away from this thing and running towards the other thing. And it seemed pretty heavily implied that that's, you know, he was driven there, he was pulled there to the chamber in Tavalon where the murderer appeared in the end. But he chose to stray from the path. And the path then appeared again and again. But, you know, it's like this little bit of agency that we see there. I really, really like that, and we talked a bit about that, and it was quite a powerful moment. So it shows that Rand has some agency at least. And there was a part. There were two points, and one I talked about before. It was when in the dream Rand seemed to remember the Dark One's face, but doesn't want to. You know, so it's like a past life. And then there's this passage, and we were not sure. It's about him dancing with the girls, and he says, "Yeah, it's nothing like, or this is better like dancing with." And then there are dots, and then, but who was that anyway, or something like that. And at first we thought it was Egwene, perhaps, but it might also be that it's Ilgena from the past life, or something like that, because we weren't sure if he ever danced with Egwene. We were not sure. It's not explicitly stated. So we were unsure there. So it's a bit open. And it might have been Egwene, yes, but it might also have been someone from another life. And it was really a nicely written passage there. Very, you could see that in different ways. Then the dream itself, what was it? Was it a prophecy like dream that he had? Was it an attack of the Dark One? You know, that the Dark One produced inside of him, like wanting to lure him to some place in his mind or whatever, or I don't know. Or was it just his subconsciousness dreaming about leaving and taking some memories from his old life, you know, like the Dragon Mound and Tavalon, where he obviously, oh no, he couldn't have been to Tavalon before. So it probably was not only that. So there had to be some magical thing because he probably saw the real Tavalon there. But yeah, like was it just the subconscious? Like he says, yeah, I'm going to Tavalon, but there might be really something evil there. You know, the Myrddraal showing up. So yeah, what was the Myrddraal? Was that an image he had subconsciously produced to tell himself, yeah, might be danger in Tavalon, or was it something, you know, like the Dark One lured him there? I don't know. Yeah, the thing we discussed a lot was Egwene, because a friend of mine pointed out that he thought that Egwene comes off as very naive, and so when she just says, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go now," and I wasn't sure about that. So what we figured out was, or what we thought in the end was that the way it's written from Ren's perspective, because we don't know anything about her really. I think she's the one we know the least about. So we know she's a sister. We know her parents are the innkeepers, and we know that she's working for Nynaeve, and she wants to go, and she might like Rand, so they like each other. But that's all we really know. So she says this stuff, but you could interpret it as she's just very superficial and just wants to go. It's naive and doesn't think about it. Or you could say she's not really telling her reasons, and it's not really shown that she reflected upon it, but it can be assumed because she, as I said in the reaction, she obviously cared for all the people that were about to die and were hit by the attack very hard, and she was there, you know, and she saw the evil and the suffering, but she still decided to go and was optimistic and hopeful. And we also during that realized that Egwene probably grew up a lot when Ren did not see her, and that's why he's so confused about her, because during the winter, you know, so she apparently started learning whatever from Nynaeve. She started having the braid. She started behaving more mature, so he can't grasp her anymore. So we will keep an eye out for Egwene because we're not sure what's up with her and how she really is. So I'm quite curious to see that. And yeah, so those were basically the points we talked about in summary. Yeah, what did you think of this chapter or these chapters? How did you like them? And yeah, I'm looking forward to Sunday when the next reading session is at hand, and I will dig further into this story, and I hope you do as well, because this is such a fantastic, marvelous story, and I can't wait to read more. Hope you have a great Friday or whatever. I don't know when you see this, and take care of yourself, and see you soon. Bye.